Hello, everyone. I'm joined by Reverse for support player for Who Is Goldfish. Now, if you watched maybe some of my other videos, you might be looking at me right now thinking, isn't this the guy who said Goldfish would be the 15th best team? How are they in top 8? So maybe for the fraudulent analysts in the call and everyone at home, could you maybe tell us a little bit about your team for those who aren't informed enough and how you guys came together?
Uh, I don't know. We're kind of just a team that started off. I wasn't even planning on like actually playing OWCS. I was just sitting on my couch getting ready for work, and then Debit texted me and he said, "Hey, I need a main support. I have Dust and a couple other people who want to make a team for OWCS." And I was like, "Okay, like fuck it. I'll just get ready to play with them whenever." Blah blah blah, all that. So at the beginning of it, an hour and 20 minutes before roster lock, it was just me, Dust, and Azruf, and we scrambled around for like I think 20 minutes, 20 30 minutes, just trying to figure out who we were going to pick up. And we reached out to Bizz. We were like, "Bizz, blah blah blah, are you playing?" And they weren't planning on playing either. No one was really planning on playing. Everyone was kind of just sitting on their couch during roster lock, and we were just like, "Ah, fuck it, why not?"
So then, could you maybe talk us through a little bit of a roster as well? Because I imagine similarly, there's quite a few players people aren't familiar with. So, what's Bizz's sort of role on the roster? What's he best at?
Bizz is really good at being a team leader right now. He keeps us together. We've kind of clashed heads a lot, I won't lie, just like off the rip already. Like
Hmm.
we lost to Dhillducks, actually, the team that we just knocked out. We actually lost to them in the bracket phase, or not the bracket, the Swiss. We
Yeah.
lost to them in Swiss. And that loss was really tough. We weren't actually expecting to like lose to them. It was a very close Swiss match, and we figured after we lost to them, I think that was our second to last match in Swiss. We actually didn't even realize that we were going to qualify. Like we were
Oh.
just kind of like we were like, okay, whatever. We lost to Dhillducks. We blow, right? So it's just like we're just gonna get over this and go next. Biz kind of gave us like a little pep talk. He kept us all together. He believe it or not, isn't even the oldest on the team. Goldfish is, but Biz is more of a veteran in the scene, and he did a really good job at kind of just like keeping our heads up and kind of he wanted to he's a problem solver, I guess is a better way to do it, instead of
Okay.
us kind of just falling on our backs like, oh, we qualified for top 16, doesn't fucking matter, we lost to Dhillducks in bracket phase, we suck, blah blah blah, all that type of shit. He was kind of just like, okay, I'm gonna hit up some people, we're gonna get some coaches in here, and we're actually gonna become like relatively developed by the time the top 16 comes through, so we can kind of just like, make this work, make the best of what we got. Because when we figured out that we qualified, I don't think we were shocked, but we were just like, oh wow, we actually got through top 16. Like, word up, I guess. So
And
yeah, he kind of just made some calls, got Amir on, and Amir helped us throughout from 16th to 8th. He kind of just helped us with our macro a little bit.
okay. I mean, if we keep him the DPS, then what does Azruf bring to the team the most?
Azruf just brings raw mechanics, and he's funny as hell. I'm gonna keep it a buck. He keeps everyone smiling. We all love Azruf. I mean, generally, he's made some insane clutch plays throughout most of our series. He's always there for like 3K rail guns. Every time he says he has rail gun, that's kind of we don't really need a backup plan. You know what I mean? He's gonna just
Yeah.
like he's always gonna make it work. I think he's one of the most underrated mechanically right now. And with more time, I think as you're going to see a lot more of Azrif, I think is a better way to put it, especially through time if they want to keep competing and all that.
I think another player who's maybe stood out when just watching a couple like your group stage games in particular was probably Dust as well. Obviously,
Oh
playing a lot of a Winston, seemed really talented as well.
no, Dust is actually insane. Another mechanics player who I was really surprised to see. I haven't even heard of Dust until I we played the WASD weeklies that Faceit hosts,
Hmm.
and I played Dust and I lost to Dust in one of the weeklies with like a team that on paper was like way better than what Dust was playing with. I think it was like Dust, Han Bay, and I think it was Manually, which Manually is really good too, but
Hmm.
everyone else on the roster I didn't really remember. But Dust really, really, really surprised me throughout that series. And if it probably wasn't for that series that we lost to them, I probably wouldn't have even said yes because I didn't really know who Dust was when it came to OWCS. But no, he's really good. He has an amazing mental. He really keeps at it. He tries his hardest, and he's also just another clutch player. He has insane main tank mechanics, so it's like you can always rely on him if he's got a primal.
And then that probably moves us on to, I guess, for the title member of the team in Goldfish. So why have they the ones to get their name in the title?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I mean, it's Goldfish. Who is Goldfish? It's been a fun brand to play around. OWCS has even recognized it as like we've built like a fan culture around who actually is Goldfish, why is Goldfish. Do you ever ask who, like, how Goldfish is doing? You know, that type of stuff. But no, Goldfish does bring a lot. Goldfish is the oldest on the team. He's like the actual vet when it comes to competing, but you know, they're just calling all heroes coach, putting it on paper.
How old is old? If I can get an age reveal.
Goldfish is 26, turning 27 this year. So okay. It's not old. It's like old for competition.
Old. Gamer old.
Yeah. It's like he's gamer old.
Yeah. So then, obviously, there's some teams in OWCS, like the Toronto, have the full shebang, the facility, the full-time salary, all of this. You talked a bit earlier about how, you know, you were waiting for work and stuff. What does a typical week of practice look like for you then in terms of how many scrims do we get in? How much VOD do we get in?
I mean, do you want the real answer to that? Or
yeah, the real answer, of course.
We... Honestly, this week alone, we're getting our first scrim in ever since our top 8 qualifier. We've been super. I personally also work 2 jobs outside of Overwatch. Plus, I'm going to uni, and that also goes with Goldfish. Goldfish goes to uni. I know Bizz is. I'm pretty sure Bizz is in school. They play collegiate. Yeah, I think the only 2 people who have like a generally open schedule is Azruf and Dust. We try to get as much practice in as possible, but especially following up to our top 16, our game versus Dhillducks, we had 1 scrim and we just like, it was probably the worst scrim we've ever had, period. We played horrible. There was nothing to it. We played a whole 2, but we even tried to double block. We played the first block. We played horrible. We played the second block against a pug team. That did not go anywhere better. We had to cancel halfway through the block, and we were like, guys, let's just ask Amir to like look over this VOD with us or something like that. Like we're not going to get anything from like scrimming right now. We weren't able to take away much. So this week we're definitely going to try scrimming a lot more. I think we're going to do, I think, a couple double blocks leading into this weekend, but realistically we're just like, you know, we're just trying to do its best. And if scrimming's going to tilt us, then we might as well just like ask for VODs from, you know, Amir or try some. Both of those coaches have come in and helped us just kind of like clean up our macro, actually have like a general idea of what we're going to do going into the game. And then, you know, we'll just go from there. That's kind of just been how our practice has gone.
Do you have like, is there a certain person maybe who sort of ended up being the sort of like main caller, calling a lot of the fight plans in game for you then?
Goldfish, it honestly depends. Goldfish, they're really good at setting fight tempo. Like they like to call like exactly what we want to do going into the fight. But like, for example, if Azruf wants to change something, or if I want to change something, or if Bizz it's always just interchangeable. We all kind of like, we all click tab. We see who has which ult. For if Azruf has railgun, Azruf is going to make the play with his railgun a lot of the time. Same goes with my beats. Same goes with Goldfish. You know, rush tempo and all that stuff. So it's kind of just like it all. We all kind of do our part when it comes to like comm structure, I guess. And do you have who takes charge?
Do you have someone then who's like the emotional leader? Maybe if you have like a couple of those bad scrims, or a person who's just like brings everyone together or calms everyone down if it's like a stressful moment in a match?
It's Bizz. Definitely Bizz. When it comes to like actually keeping us like together. I feel like I'm the one who gets emotional the most because I've been trying to prove myself for a long time, and then OWCS, like I said, I wasn't really trying to play OWCS, and I've been trying to prove myself in the competitive scene for a pretty long time. But it's always when I'm not competing or when I'm not playing the game the most is always when I start kind of like peeking out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
I'll just get
yeah.
some random offer like from Debit, like you are you on a team? I'm like, nope. And he said, all right, get on this team. And everyone on my team's just way better than me. So I always
Always get
I
roped back
always
in.
yeah, I always get dragged back in, but I'm probably the most emotional on the team, which for good or bad. But Biz and Dust, they keep us together. And Dust being one of the younger players is also it's pretty impressive coming from Dust for
Yeah.
how cool headed they are. So yeah, it's definitely Biz or Dust.
Okay. I mean, if I give you a few more categories, maybe you could tell us which player fits into this category or is at the top in this category. So, who'd you say the funniest player is?
Oh, Azruf tenfold.
Easy one?
Azruf is
Yeah.
so Azruf is so funny.
Like because there's two types of funny I often find. There's people who are
Mhm.
intentionally funny, and there's people who are just funny because they do
Okay,
funny things unintentionally. Which category is
I know
he
what you
in?
mean. No, they're naturally funny. They kind of have like a charm to how they talk and kind of how they carry their words, kind of like what they do. Even in the middle of a team fight, like you'll just be like, you'll just be chilling. We'll be setting up a pre-fight plan, and he'll be like, "Nope, nope, nope, fuck that. I'm going top. I'm sliding top right with railgun. We're gonna get this done." And then we win the fight. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like,
Yeah.
or he'll even say it mid-fight too. We'll be calm, and everyone's just like, "Turn, turn." It's kind of just like how they carry themselves and kind of like what
Yeah.
they actually do and say. But he's someone who's super serious, but they always have a funny charm to it, regardless. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like they'll tilt on you or sometimes they'll tilt on you but it's in a funny way, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I don't know, that doesn't mean to come off as an insult either, but it's kind of just like how it is. Like he's just a naturally funny guy.
And then who's the biggest grinder? Who's got the most ranked hours? Who's always on?
Biz is always
Yeah.
grinding. They stream consistently as well. They're always I think Biz streams daily. I'm not 100% sure
Okay.
about
Yeah.
that, but Biz definitely takes the morning shift. When it comes to that, I'm not sure if they do uni more towards the afternoon or something, but Biz is always live. And our Biz or Dust, I'm actually not 100% sure what Dust does throughout like his morning. I know they're on a super time constraint as well, Dust, because their schedule's open, but like they have like a weird like in the middle, like right after we won our game from Dhillducks, like unironically like 2 minutes, Dust was just like, all right guys, congrats, all right, I gotta go, goodbye, you know what I mean, stuff like that, and then they're
Yeah.
out. So probably ranked grinder would definitely be Dust. They're always on the game, or not Dust, Biz. They're always on the game, just trying to get better.
And then who's the biggest moaner? Who complains the most in scrims or?
Oh, me and Azruf definitely battle for that title, and I'm not even joking. Like it's not even close. We'll clash sometimes too. Be like, nah, I'm more pissed than you are, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I'll take that. Like, definitely, and Shaq and Biz and Dust, they kind of keep us together, but it's definitely like I thought we were doing this, and then Azruf would have something in his mind like I thought we were doing this. What the hell, man, or something like that. And you know, it's definitely either me or Azruf for like the biggest complainer.
And then doesn't necessarily need to be just in game, but who would you say is the most intelligent on the team?
That's a good one. Most intelligent. That's a curveball. In game, probably Biz or Dust, or you know, honestly, anybody but me or Azruf. Azruf is super mechanical. They just get shit done. I'm just there to ult track and have fun. But the smartest person on the team would probably, I would assume Dust. I'm actually pretty sure they're super academically up there,
Okay.
so it's probably Dust.
And then I want to get your take on the meta a little bit because, especially last week, we saw loads and loads of teams lean way more towards Orisa, but your team doesn't fall in this category at all.
No,
So
hell
you're still playing a lot more Winston. Is that how much of that is you think you've got a better meta read, or is it just a comfort hero thing, or like individual strength?
So, especially with like how much lack of scrim that we've been getting in, Dust has an extreme confidence gap on Winston over Orisa, but Dust is definitely trying to fix that. They have definitely been fixing that this week. I think we play the Winston more just because we're like naturally better at it, kind of, or kind of in the sense of like everybody can take a lead at some point. Like Bizz can be talking about what he wants to do with his pulse bomb. It's like with Orisa, I feel like you can just troll your cooldowns a little easier, and we tend to like not play the tempo correctly in the Orisa comp. And Monkey's way more, way more relaxed on what can actually go on. You know, it kind of makes sense. Like Monkey only really has bubble to waste or like his jump cooldown. But Orisa, if you waste her spin or if you waste her shift, it's over. You know what I mean? It's like the fight almost feels
really
like
punishing.
yeah. Playing the Orisa comp, you get punished harder. And I think with a team that lacks a lot of practice right now, the Winston comp is more rewarding to mistakes, I guess is a better way to put it. Kind of how we felt personally.
Did you feel then a little bit, because obviously when you played Dhillducks, you actually got a Winston mirror for the most part until like the last map. Were you actually quite happy to see that then and play that version of the matchup rather than into the Orisa?
I'm not 100% sure because we've probably voted a lot more of the Winston v Orisa kinda. Our every game plan that we had was kind of just like, okay, they're gonna walk out on Orisa, you know what I mean? And then they started walking out on Winston, and we were kind of just like, it's a curveball, but it's like we're just gonna play it better than them. It wasn't really much of like
played into your strengths.
Yeah, it wasn't really like oh shit, like oh they're on the Winston now. It's kind of just like, you know, whatever. We'll just play better than them. That's kind of was just our only goal going into that, outside of playing against the Orisa.
Overall, when you got the group you did, because obviously you had Toronto in the group, which is, I don't think anyone would be happy to see Toronto in the group. But when you saw the rest of the group, did you feel actually all of a sudden it was a bit more winnable than maybe some of the other groups look in terms of getting
dude,
out?
we got really lucky, and actually it was really funny because I could probably find a tweet or pull it up. Goldfish on the first stage of OWCS, they were hate tweeting a little bit. They were kind of just like, oh, look at this, this group has 4 random teams on it. You know what I mean? They were just like shit talking. They're like, yeah, this group's got 4 random teams, and now 2 random teams are going to qualify over this team or that team. And then that got a lot of shit.
Yeah,
everyone was like, oh hell no. Like, but we were kind of that group this stage. We got extremely lucky with the bracket. I didn't run it like tenfold. We were the easiest group. Like, it was definitely our group, and then Vice and FMCL kind of had an easy-ish group from just memory alone.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on that. But no, we were super fortunate with how the bracket worked out and like kind of just what we were given.
So now you've done it. You've made the top 8.
Yeah.
What are the sort of expectations now then, as sort of there's now kind of no easy games left? What are you hoping for in this tournament?
I mean, we're just shooting for what we can get, really. You know, like with a team that has minimal practice, with a team that doesn't have like too much. We don't have too much to prove anymore at this point, kind of is kind of how I feel. It's kind of just like, okay, we were a pug team with an hour left. We made top 8. We surpassed it. We got farther than a lot of other teams that, you know, we probably shouldn't have, probably should have, you know, stuff like that. But generally, we're just trying to go for what we can right now. In my personal opinion, judging by bracket alone, you can kind of determine this when you go look at it. I think top 6 is super doable. I don't really want to talk about players on certain teams. I don't want to start beef because, like, you know, I work 2 jobs. If I go into the game and get shit on, I have nothing to prove. You know what I mean? But if I shit on these guys, I get a field day. So it's like, it is what it is. But I think top 6 is more than doable on paper. We got to get through this Luminosity game, but I think we actually can have a lower bracket run.
Yeah, well, I think the nice thing, and certainly I've experienced this myself when I was on London, it's actually way nicer to be the underdog team.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. You can kind of just play if it doesn't work, you know. If you lose to Luminosity, no one's going to... It's not going to change anyone's opinion. No one's going to be like, I can't believe these guys lost to Luminosity. What are they doing?
Right.
So it's like, and if you start to have a bit of success, the pressure is tenfold on the other team. Like if suddenly Luminosity lose the first cough round or something, and all of a sudden it's just that element of panic, little bit of stress, all of that, you know. So it can always snowball.
No, it'll be. I think it's going to be a fun top 8. Really, I'm just excited. I kind of just want to get the ball rolling. I've been thinking about it all week. I just want to get in game, show what we can and can't do.
How does this tournament rank in terms of like, is this the biggest tournament? Maybe in terms of like caliber of other teams and eyes on that you and a lot of the other players have played in?
I'm not. For me personally, this is probably one of the higher caliber. My most experience outside of this is like contenders. So, definitely for like for what this top 8 looks like, this is probably one of the best tournaments that I've played in outside of the Overwatch League. It was the Overwatch League Summer Stage Finals, the one where they just had all the contenders teams come in.
Oh yeah.
But I played the one in the East because I played with Miku Fan Club. So we got to see a lot of I got to play against a lot of the Korean teams like Sin Parisa. I got to play against a lot of like I don't remember the exact names, but you know, it was like it was more of the APAC/Korean team. So that was really fun to play. But I guess for NA/ like just, you know, NA standards, this is definitely the hardest tourney that I've played in. I'm not 100% sure for the rest of my team, though. I'd have to like actually look into their Wikipedia and think about it.
And then if you had to pick a team that you think is odds-on favorite to win, who would you, if you had to put your money somewhere, who would you put your money on?
I mean, realistically, I'd put a house down on Toronto winning it all. I mean, this is definitely going to be. Yeah, I feel like the finals is definitely still going to be a 4-0 towards Toronto, kind of like how last one went. But we'll see. Well, I'm not 100% caught up on who exactly is like doing crazy right now in scrims. We're hearing a lot from Gators. So, you know, you can only hope that M80 is going to be doing really good right now. I have a lot of faith in Student of the Game. Actually, I feel like they're also another underdog team. I don't know. I have a prediction personally that isn't too hot, but I feel like for the general public would be hot. But I actually think Students of the Game go LAN. Like, I think they go to Dallas.
It's interesting because I'm doing interviews with everyone, and a couple of people have said the same thing. So Students of the Game seem to be gaining some momentum or a bit of gas from a lot of people. So,
oh no, 100%.
You never know, and it's on for them as well,
No, if I were to put my money on anybody, it would be Student of the Game, Toronto, or I guess M80. Those would be my. I think that's the big 3 right now.
Okay, all right then. Thank you very much, Reverse. Do appreciate your time, and of course, best of luck to you and everyone for the main event. I'm sure we'll catch it all live when it kicks off.
No, thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me.